Hi everyone, it's Carletta from Body Candy, and today I have a special treat for you guys because I will be doing a short but long tutorial on how I make my frosting for my half sphere mini bath bombs. So usually the typical full bath bomb would be both of these pieces together. But with me, I'm going to be taking frosting and putting it in the middle, and I'm going to be connecting them. Kind of giving it the kind of effect of a macaroon, but just a little more girly, a little more, different than the regular one. But truthfully, I think I'm going to get away from the whole idea of making the connected ball anyway. I think I'm going to just go ahead and start making them this way with the frosting in the middle, to kind of put my own little spin on the whole, bath fizzy and the whole ball thing. So let's get started. So here I have some of my favorites when making my bubble frosting. I have my meringue powder. I have my SLSA in here. This is about 4 ounces of that. And I have 0.8 ounces of cream of tartar. And I will be using a Wilton's piping bag. And let's see, I'm going to be using the star tip. This is my favorite tip. Basically that's it. So a lot of people ask me about the fact that I only use, I use 2 teaspoons of meringue powder, if that. Because it really basically, my concern is definitely the cream of tartar and the SLSA. That's what I usually worry about as far as how much I'm putting in and trying to get the right measurements and all of that. But the meringue, I'm never concerned about this. And if I feel like I need some more, I'll throw some in. And truthfully, the only reason why I'm doing any measurements today, ladies and gentlemen, is because I'm filming and I'm trying to let everybody know the correct measurements beforehand. Okay, so I have my bowl ready. So first thing I do, I take one and maybe another half of meringue powder. I have here a half a cup of water that I add in slowly. Turn this around so you guys can see. That I add in pretty slow because I don't want to overwater my powder, because when you do that, you end up with a ton of frosting. Let me tell you, let me get this camera straight, you guys. I have done that and I have ended up with so much frosting that is not even funny. Like, it's really a mess. So, okay, I think I got it here. You guys know I'm just getting used to using my little stand here, so bear with me for 1 second. Okay, so here I have my meringue powder, and I'm going to use this spoon to stir it up. See, you want it to be wet, but still a little bit dry. So I'm going to add the rest of this. This is a half a cup of water that I'm adding to my meringue. And I can tell already that might have been too much water. I added in too fast, but what the heck. Okay, so next is the powdered sugar. Now, with the powdered sugar, I just got it from Great Value brand. I mean, from Walmart. It's a Great Value brand. And I just start adding it in. I go by, when I'm doing this, and texture. I don't really get into all the fancy stuff when it comes to it, because after a while, if you've been making it long enough, you can tell. And plus, everybody pretty much, if you've ever had a cupcake or had any cake frosting, you know what frosting is supposed to look like. So, let me start this over a little bit. So basically, you just stir this in, like so. And as you can see, you have a nice creamy kind of color. So, you keep adding in the powdered sugar until you get it a little more creamier. I have another bag here. Now, on the contrary, like I've said before, some people don't like using the sugars. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. But for me, I like it. And, you know, nobody's breaking out in any, you know, hives or anything when they're using my product. So we're kind of good here with the powdered sugar. So I keep stirring it around. And I'm really upset because I got this adorable whisk that has like a little piggy on it. And of course, my 1-year-old loves to play with it, and now it's missing like all the rest of my utensils in the house. So I'm stuck with using, you know, plastic and whatever I could find when I'm making my products. So as you can see, I don't know if you guys can see, it's getting kind of thick. And I always can tell when I'm not able to stir it as much as I was before. It starts getting a little more thick and a little more difficult for me to physically whip it in myself. And next, after that, it's still kind of creamy, a little bit thick. I add in my 0.8 ounces of cream of tartar. Put that in, that over there, and I start slowly stirring this in, getting some of this stuff off the sides, because ultimately what I'm going to do is I'm going to whip out my Trendy blender. So I'm going to add some more powdered sugar because I added too much water in the beginning. So that's what happens. Well, this is what happens when you add too much water too fast. I don't know if you guys can get a good view. So, anywho, as you can see, it's starting to get thick. And the powder is sticking to the side of the bowl. Next, I slowly start adding in my SLSA. And this is when it starts to get really tricky because it starts to get really thick. The SLSA starts to work its way into the mixture. And it starts getting a little more thick. So you can start to see. That's why you just add it in some at a time. Don't add in the whole bunch at once. Keep one spoon. And I'm going to tell you, this little spoon here isn't all that bad. Considering. Some more. And this makes the best bubbles, this recipe. And that's why I don't really worry about it too much. And also, the powdered sugar is like it's nothing. Stuff dissolves and go away. And it's no big deal. So, I'm just adding in the rest of my 4 ounces of my SLSA. And as you can see, the texture is not as liquidy as it was before. I'm going to add the rest. Put that to the side. And it is getting very thick. And this is what I look for. Now, some people go ahead on and whisk it. Oop, getting stuff everywhere here. Right now, at this very moment. Me, no. I wait for a second because I like to use my blender to blend the rest of it because it starts to get really thick. I just want to get a fork here. Grab the fork to kind of finish it off. Now, some people will frost it just like this consistency, if you can see. Me, no. That's not good enough for me. So what I do is, for one thing, I put this in here. It's my little tester. Throw these in here so I can test the bubbles. And I get my blender and I blend the rest of it. Now, I'm going to try to turn it down a little bit so you guys aren't like beat up by the noise of my blender.